everyone, it's John Hunter Nemechek here. Today, I thought it would be fun to share some of the high of highs and the lowest of lows moments recapping 2024 season in the number 42 Legacy Motor Club team. So let's dive in, get comfy, get a snack, hop on your couch. Let's enjoy it. All right, let's kick things off with the moments that had me thinking, what just happened? Here are my top 5 worst moments of the 2024 season. And trust me, some of these will shock you. Moment number 5, Daytona 2. We're leading the race, leading laps. Larson was pushing me. I got a little squirrely, ended up spinning, Tokyo drift style. I saved it. And then we were coming back through the field, coming to the white flag. I was third in line on the outside. Probably had a shot to win the race, and I had a huge run created. I had Ty Gibbs behind me, another Toyota teammate. I pulled out a line, coming to the start-finish line, 1 to go to make it 3 wide. No one went with me. I guess I don't have any friends out there. We ended up going from a chance to win the race to finishing like 15th or something. Just not a well-executed move on my part, not super smart. And one of the things just didn't end up very well. Moment 4, the epic pit stop fail. Picture this, I'm in the zone, ready to make my move to get out of the box, and then bam, pit stop miscommunication that could have cost us the race. Well, it set us behind a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. I went to leave the pit stop, I got told to stop. We didn't think a wheel was tight, but then our rear changer, it hit the gun and it knocked it out of his hands while it was stuck wide open, fell on the ground, sparked, ignited the fumes. Man, everything caught on fire. So at that point, we had to get out of the box, try and get the fire out. May or may not have salvaged our day decently there. Moment 3, the crash that changed everything. I was riding high up in the standings. We had led laps at Indianapolis when disaster struck. We had pitted off sequence, ended up getting towards the back, and made our way back towards the front. One of the final restarts, I made my move from the top lane to the bottom lane, getting into turn 1. Everyone was checking up. Next thing I knew, I was turned left into the inside wall. I bounced off the inside wall, back across the racetrack, into cars, into the outside wall, had hopped. Man, it killed that car. And probably one of the hardest hits I've ever taken as a driver. It stinks. It was probably one of the best runs that we had all year, having a really fast Pie Barker Toyota Camry XSE, and it just didn't work out. It's part of it. Moment number 2, penalties. Man, we had a lot of speeding penalties this year, and that was on me. We had another one of our good days going at Kansas this year, Kansas race 1. We had drove from the back up into the top 10. We were going really, really good, really, really fast. Passing a lot of cars, came down pit road, and I sped by 0.01 miles per hour. I mean, do you know how small of a margin that is? So we had to restart in the back, drove back to the front, had another penalty on pit road, had to go back to the back and drove back up to finish 13th or something like that, I think. So nice salvage of a day, but too many penalties. And now we had a crew chief change. Man, it shook things up. With 5 races to go, everyone made a big decision to change crew chiefs. Ben was my crew chief, Brian Campy was coming on board as the technical director, and things got changed up. Brian ended up becoming my crew chief, Ben went to crew chief Eric, team swap, everything was new. But in the end, I think it worked out. We leaned into it, we figured things out as a team. I feel like it was good for the organization. I feel like I learned a lot. I feel like Brian learned a lot. I think Ben learned some things, Eric as well. And we had some decent runs. It was definitely one of those things where I didn't really know what to expect going into it. I was a little frustrated, but overall, things work out the way that they're supposed to. All right, now that we've covered some of the lows, it's time to flip the script. Well, the first top 10 finish of the year, Daytona 500. Came in, we didn't qualify good, qualified almost last. But man, we had a really fast Toyota Camry XSE. It looked good, we were able to run up front. We ended up crossing the finish line 7th. And there are a few things I wish I could go back and change to possibly have a shot to win that race. But overall, we kicked it off with a really solid start to the year. Moment number 4, Bristol. We dominated a really tough racetrack. Tire wear, we didn't know it was gonna be as bad as it was. We were throwing tires at it. You could go like 30 laps before tires started shredding apart. And we managed our day. We ended up coming home P6. We led laps, we got up front. We were able to run up there all day, battled with some of the best guys. And it kind of seemed like a video game at times. You had to pace yourself, couldn't push as hard as you wanted to, save the right front tire, save the right rear tire. Just a lot of attrition and battle from my team throughout that day. P6 finish, our best finish of the year. Really, really solid day at one of my favorite racetracks, with one of the toughest racetracks we go to, the Last Great Coliseum. Moment number 3, wet weather racing. Man, I love racing in the wet. We were able to start in the dry at New Hampshire. We went multiple laps down in the dry. We were able to get those laps back, and then boom, it rained. We put wet tires on. Racing in the rain on an oval, it's unheard of, right? But we ended up coming from 2 laps down, back to the lead lap, and driving up to finish 8th. What a day, what a race car in the wet, and we were able to overtake and have a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that one. Do you think that you could drive in the rain? Comment below. Moment number 2, a heartwarming fan encounter? Of course, we have those all the time. There's nothing better when you're able to go out and sign autographs for kids. Me being a second generation race car driver, I grew up at the racetrack, idolizing a lot of the drivers. I was able to be very close with them, but being able to look up to them as heroes. They're the ones that are wearing the fire suits, they're the athletes, and you really look up to what they do on and off the racetrack. So for myself, being able to be there and present with kids is huge. We were able to do a pre-race event at a children's hospital in Alabama for Talladega Super Speedway, and it was probably one of the most heartwarming encounters that I've had. Being able to go into hospital rooms, see some of the kids and patients and bring a smile to their face, letting them know that we're praying about them and that we're cheering them on and that they can get through whatever may be going on. We're there, we're there thinking about them, we're there pushing them, and definitely praying over them. In moment 1, there's nothing better than having family at the racetrack. Being able to share the experiences of being at the racetrack, some winning moments from the Xfinity Series, being there on Sundays with my family, Taylor, my wife, Aspen, and Penelope, my 2 daughters. It's so touching. It's super amazing for them to be able to enjoy and be at the racetrack and grow up the same way I did, being able to go to the racetrack at 2 weeks old and continuing that throughout their lives. We got to race scooters around the infield, very competitive with Aspen. She loves to go out and play, but most of all, just being able to be with one another, having them there supporting me and enjoying some family time when we travel every single weekend for NASCAR. So there you have it, folks. Some of the best and worst moments, some that made me happy, some that made me cry. Almost cry, I should say. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're looking forward to 2025. Hope you enjoyed this recap of 2024. Peace out.